Alrighty, everybody. Welcome to another open mic here. Make sure the music isn't too loud. How's everybody doing tonight? Thanks for coming and joining me. Everybody that is filing in to watch us do another open mic here. I'm having camera issues. You can see it's like super dark. My camera was locking in like super unfocused. I rebooted. I'm having no end. Every time that I try to stream, I have another technical problem. I'm not even sure what the heck is happening. I've been podcasting / streaming on this channel or not on this channel, on this machine for like 3 years. And it's just all of a sudden I'm starting to get issues. So what are you going to do? It's an old machine, so maybe I got to replace it. So hopefully everybody's having a really, really great night. Gonna give a huge hello to William Millard, Captain Skidmarks, Lieutenant Red Panda, Darren Pogue, Gavin Vickers, who has to go, Kevin Weaver, Ashes to Ashes, Anthony Talcott, Kevin Weaver, I said your name already, King Sear, Marcel Bletard, who's obviously Canadian by the look of your little image there. And Jay Smith, welcome everybody. Let me just see if I can fix my video, because this is really gonna bug me the whole entire time that I'm doing this, unless I can get this fixed. So I think I have low light compensation on. Let's turn up my gain just a tiny wee bit. There, that looks a little better. I'm getting like a really big hotspot here, so let's turn that off and see if that fixes. No, it doesn't fix it. You know what? I think that's good enough. I think that is good enough. What was that? What was that? Oh, we got a thing. A thing. I was half covering the thing, and I didn't know what the thing was. A viewer activity. We had a follow or something. So I didn't see what it was, but thank you, everybody. Tuli to you, Adam S, Kyle Lambing, welcome. If it's not Discord, it's OBS. Yeah, man. I just can't help it. I don't know what's happening here. Things are going bad, but I need to replace this machine. I think it's the problem. I got a nice, beautiful new 4K monitor, so I'm on right directly in front of me is a beautiful LG 27-inch 4K monitor. I told the story on Stadiatalks about why I have it. Which is hilarious, actually, at the end of the day. But really love the fact that that I have a 4K monitor now. So what I had to do is plug my CCU directly into it, because I don't have a 4K capture card. So I can't stream right from my Chromecast. I have to stream from a web browser. But been having a blast, man. It's been a heck of a lot of fun, so I'm really digging it. I know everybody's been talking about 4K forever, but whatever. What are you gonna do? Marceau, your channel's amazing. For those of us waiting for Stadia base, it's a great way to get info. Awesome. Well, I'm gonna be hopefully giving away a buddy pass. That's the word I was looking for. At the end of the stream or near the end of the stream. So if you're quick and if you follow me on Twitter, I'm Dasme on Twitter, DASME. I will be tweeting out a buddy pass for everybody to check out. So that would be a good way to get in. Marceau. You're shocked at how good Metro looks on Stadia. Yeah, Metro looks really, really good. I just had to log in. I had to think really hard about my password there for a second. I was playing with my son was sitting beside me, actually, because I was using it to kind of test the 4K-ness of my monitor, and he said it looked really, really decent. So the game on Stadia, because it'll be better. Although I don't know if I'll play it. I played so much of it already. I don't know if I would ever want to get in there and play it again. But we'll see. Maybe that might be a fun way to jump in and do some gaming. Darren Pogue, I think people get confused because it looks like a first-person shooter, but it's not. Yeah, Oh, Kyle, it was stuttering, but it's good now. Yeah, I dropped like 700 frames, 3% of my stream, and now it's back to normal. So yeah, I don't know what was up there. That's really weird. YouTube seems to have a little bit of issues sometimes with when I'm streaming at a high bit rate, which is really weird because like I could be doing a speed test and I could be getting full speed tests, and like getting like full bandwidth down, and then I start dropping frames on YouTube immediately after. So it's something about my ingest server, I guess. I got to figure out what the best one to do, like where I should be sending my data, I guess. But it usually is something that should just figure itself out, but it doesn't seem to be doing a lot of that, unfortunately. D Marinix, rip Google Stadia because GeForce Now is here. Different services. I mean, it's like saying rip PlayStation because Xbox came out, or rip Nintendo because PlayStation came out. There's just so much room in the market for different services. So I played GeForce Now today. It's good. I love the fact that I can play my Steam games. It was slow. Like I was playing Torchlight 2 and my mouse clicks weren't registering. So, I mean, that's a thing. The fact that you're just playing games that are already out there and they have to add it to their service is good, because that means there's the likelihood of more games coming quicker until some of these developers start suing them for putting their game up in the cloud without permission, even though they're essentially just renting you just a computer in the cloud. So it'll be interesting to see how all that stuff plays out. But yeah, it's pretty good. I could see myself subscribing to that to play my vast Steam library that I never play because I don't like gaming on my PC. And then use Stadia for new games and things like that, or buy the cheap versions on Steam and then play them on GeForce Now. It'll be interesting to see how everything shakes out. That $5 a month thing makes it super tempting for me to jump in and get a founder's version of that as well. But what are you gonna do? I'm gonna hold off for now. I tried the free a couple times and I don't know. Wasn't impressed. Wasn't overly impressed. But I'm sure their service is just getting slammed since it just it just launched. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next couple months. GeForce Now, if you pay for it, you won't have to wait to play games. Well, you may have to wait to play games if they haven't added it to their service. It's not like you can just go and choose anything from your library. They have to add a game to the service. So if it's in your Steam library, it doesn't mean that you can necessarily play it. You won't have to wait in line for all the free people, but I'm sure that's how it's going to be with Stadia as well. All the free people with the free Stadia base, I'm sure there's going to be some sort of queuing system for those people, because Google is going to die soon. One of the richest companies in the world is going to die soon. All right, that's your opinion. I'm not going to say it's wrong, but it's pretty wrong. Pretty wrong. We'll just throw it out there. Let's see. What else is coming up? Colin Angel, GeForce requires more bandwidth to play than Stadia. I don't know if it requires more bandwidth. I know that it's limited to 1080p right now. And I don't know if it requires more. It all depends on what bitrate they're streaming at. The image that was streaming to me looked really clean. So it's probably going to be very similar. But they're probably not using VP9, which is a smaller video codec. It uses less data. A VP9 stream uses less data for the same quality image than an H.264 stream. King Sire, when do you predict 4K and wireless controller use in the web browser will be available? Good question. I think it's going to come 4K. My prediction is 4K will come before base comes out, because they're going to use that as a carrot on the end of the stick to get people to buy Pro. That's what my thoughts are. Wireless controller use, I would have thought it would have been here by now, to be fully honest with you guys. I'm surprised it's not, but I guess we'll see what happens with that. Stadia is going to die because of GeForce Now. Yep, just like rip Xbox, rip Nintendo, rip every other console just because PlayStation came out. That's not how the market works, man. It's not how the market works. And Stadia is also backed by one of the richest companies in the world, so I don't think they're going to have a problem sticking around for a while. Do you think Stadia will match GeForce Now's pricing, Sofa Spy? I think what they might do is they might come out with like an annual card. You go to the store and you buy it for $60, and that'll get you a year of Pro. I could see them doing that. I mean, that's what Xbox does. That's what PlayStation does. So I could see Stadia following suit and do that. I was surprised it's not out yet. With all of our Pro memberships coming due soon. When does my Pro membership come due? The 17th, right? That's when it came out? Let me see. Let's see. Purchases and subscriptions. There we go. So February 19th is when my subscription will renew. So yeah, 2 weeks away. I don't know. Interesting. A lot can happen between now and 2 weeks from now. They got a lot of announcements to throw out. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens for sure. All right, Tetris on Stadia, Jerome. That would be really cool if they get a game like Tetris 99 on Google Stadia. Obviously not Tetris 99 because Nintendo owns that particular version of Tetris. But that'll be interesting to see that. What platform are you guys going to play Cyberpunk 2077 on in September? Nature Boy, that is a fantastic question. I am very torn because Demorenix, I'm going to actually ban you soon if you don't stop that, because that's just really, really annoying. All right. Didn't stop. There you go. Timed out. Doesn't look like there's any other mods but myself. So you'll get next time you get a ban. So you get a timeout for now. If you can behave, I won't ban you. So back to Cyberpunk 2077. I pre-ordered it like 2 years ago on an E3 sale. I'm in Canada, so games are $80. So usually at E3, companies will have E3 sales where you can get a game for $40 or $50 or $60 as long as you pre-order it. So I did that with Cyberpunk, and I think I got it for like $49.99 or $48.99. So it's like under $50 on PlayStation 4. I'm gonna have a hard time getting it for $50 on PlayStation 4 or buying it for $80 on Stadia, even though it's gonna look way better on Stadia for me, and it'll be better to play. I don't know, man. What do you think I should do, Nature Boy? Do you think I should keep my PlayStation 4 pre-order or get it on Stadia? What do you guys think? Is Blake Ringstaff, is Stadia going to come to iOS? So Google said that they want Stadia on every screen. They haven't said iOS directly. We don't have any details on when it's coming or timing or anything like that. So not sure. But it's going to come. It has to come at some point. We have the Stadia app on iOS. The hard part is the game store. Having a store where you're spending money on iOS is a problem, because originally when they were doing things like that, Apple wanted a cut of every single sale. So obviously that's not happening, or maybe it is. But it's now live on iOS. Like, you can buy games using your Play credit. So that's the hard part. The easy part is receiving a YouTube stream, because I mean, they have apps that do that already. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. iOS or Apple has an issue about people running other browsers on iOS. So since Stadia uses Chrome, it'll be interesting to see what they can do, if they can write a wrapper for a decoder and run it as not a web browser, but just as a video decoder with something to do all the talking with your controller, figuring out what it is, figuring out if you killed your session, doing the achievements, having the overlay. That is going to be, obviously engineering is going to take a while, so that is hard. But the policy of not selling things on iOS App Store, that's already been solved. So that's definitely the hard part for that. King Sears, anybody played the Monster Energy game? I have not. I've played previous games like that. Not a fan. Not a game I'm going to be picking up. But do check out the Stadiacast Discord. See if anybody else is doing that. Stadia will rise in due time, just like Netflix. Yeah, I mean, there's room for like all sorts of services out there. Like there isn't just one. That's not the way the world works. You'd love to see a cloud gen city builder, Sims like builder game on Stadia. Oh, cloud. Oh, okay. I get what you mean by cloud gen. I was like, why would you just want to make clouds? Okay, I understand, William. Yeah, like a Sims or SimCity type game on Stadia would be great. Any big game like that where you can check in multiple times would be a really good thing. Journey to the Savage Planet on Stadia. I wish that came at launch, man. I was really hoping. Google bought the company that made it, but obviously the game was already ready to come out on Xbox and PlayStation and PC. I think it's on PC. I think it's on Epic Store, I want to say. So yeah, that's sadly it's not on Stadia. Maybe in the future we'll get that. I really want to play the game. I just don't have time to play it right now. Otherwise, I'd just pick it up and play it on my Xbox to jump into it right away. 27/7 delayed for PlayStation 5 launch. Well, that's been proven to be not true. But yeah, I mean, you get developers and publishers are always wanting to support the latest hardware. So maybe that'll give them some time to support it properly. A Star Wars Battlefront 2 port would look amazing at 4K. Yeah. I played Star Wars Battlefront 2 when it first came out. Multiplayer stunk. The whole microtransaction thing was terrible. The only reason why I bought it was a good friend of mine was one of the 2 writers that wrote the story. So I had to buy it to support my buddy. Played through the single player, loved it. Went into multiplayer and I'm like, this is junk. But they've pretty much completely redone that whole entire game. It's good now. Where the multiplayer was good, but the reliance on microtransactions and the limited amount of content was not good. Just the amount of grinding you had to do or spending money to get the stuff was not good. They've really fixed that, which is a really good thing. See, Sony did that survey for playing PlayStation 4 on the Switch. You think Google could do something similar with Stadia? They definitely could, Chris Chan. They just have to write a they just have to write an app that would receive the Stadia stream. Definitely something that could happen. Will it happen? I don't think so, but it definitely could happen. I mean, that's the beauty about Stadia is you're just receiving a video stream. So if your platform can watch YouTube videos, it can potentially be a screen for Stadia. I don't know if I'd want to play Stadia on my 3DS or any other small device, but the Switch would be a really great screen for Stadia. That would be really fun, and it would be awesome because you could play in 720p if you're playing in handheld mode, and you don't have to waste all that bandwidth. It would just be 720p directly to your 720p screen, which would be great. You're ready to play Stadia on your Samsung Galaxy Tab S6. Nice, Captain Skidmarks. I'm ready to play Stadia on this guy. My Amazon Fire Tablet 10, which I bought just to get into the beta for xCloud. It works. It's a little bit chunky. It doesn't work super well. But I'm really excited for Stadia to be natively on devices like this, because playing it on a tablet like that would be really great. Do Canadians watch the Super Bowl? If they like football, they watch the Super Bowl. It's just as popular in Canada as it is in the US. It takes over TV during that time. The really good thing about the Super Bowl now is because in the past, all the great commercials at the Super Bowl, like the reason why a lot of people watch the Super Bowl, you wouldn't get it in Canada. They would overwrite all the commercial breaks with just Canadian junk commercials. So I'd have to go into YouTube the next day and watch all the Super Bowl commercials. But now they actually have the real commercials. So you get to see the millions and millions of dollars that people are spending to have all this stuff, which is great. Captain Skidmarks, I have an Amazon tablet. How did you get xCloud to work on it? So what you have to do is you have to sideload Play Store. So there's four APKs you have to sideload. There's Google Play Services, there's the Play Store, there's account services, and one other transaction services, I think. So you sideload those four APKs, and then you go to the Play Store and just install xCloud. It's super simple and it just works. And then you connect wirelessly with your Xbox controller, and it works really, really well. Works great. Works great. Lloyd, do you think we may get a Stadia exclusive in March or early April? Hopefully start a bit of momentum for Stadia. Well, we know we're getting 10 exclusives, 10 platform exclusives this year. And there are now 10 months in front of us if you don't count February. So yeah, I think we're going to be getting maybe one a month, maybe around E3 we'll get a couple of them. But yeah, I definitely think it's great. I think we're going to get some exclusives, and I'm super excited to see what those are and play those bad boys. Captain Skidmarks, what studios would you like to see Stadia buy? Rockstar, Bethesda. I don't know. I don't really want Stadia to buy too many studios right off the bat. It would be nice to see them grow slowly, build up the exclusives from their partners and the companies that they own, and then basically just start buying things in a couple years once the platform is solid and you have developers that are already creating content for it, because they bought the Journey of the Savage Planet developer, and Journey to Savage Planet isn't on Stadia yet, so it'd be really nice if they were buying developers that are already publishing on the platform. I think Nintendo should partner with Stadia. It would extend the life of the Switch and remove some of the technical concerns with the next gen console. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be really interesting to see what Nintendo's going to do, because they've allowed companies in Japan to do game streaming. So you had Assassin's Creed, you had Resident Evil, and there was one other game, I can't remember what it was, that did game streaming. So you would buy the game and it would actually run on Capcom server or Ubisoft server. And it wasn't using Stadia, it wasn't using anything else. It was using the company's own proprietary stuff. It would be really nice if Nintendo partnered with Stadia, like you said, and then allowed you to play all your Stadia games on your Switch as well, either on your TV or directly on the handheld when you have it in handheld mode. That'd be great. Nature Boy, to answer your question, Lloyd, I'm planning to buy Cyberpunk 2077 on Stadia, but crossplay will ultimately be the deciding factor. Joel Thompson with the $2 super chat. Joel, you rock. Thank you very, very much. Crossplay will be the deciding factor. You may have to go PlayStation 4. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be so hard not to save that money. I hate buying games at $80. I hate the $80 price tag up here in Canada. So yeah, I think maybe I'll have to get it on Stadia, but and forego my PlayStation pre-order. But we'll see what happens. It's a long time between now and when the game comes out, so well, it's not a long time, but I got a lot of time to think about it. It's not like it's coming out tomorrow. All right. Dead Player. Realistically, where do you think Stadia will be available next? I don't know. It's available in Canada and US. It's available in the UK. There's a lot of people that are in like India, like places with a large population that already have a lot of Google services. I think places like that would really make sense. That part of the world that maybe their consoles aren't super popular, having a cloud streaming version of a console would probably be a really good thing, and it might be very lucrative for Google to bring their stuff there. But yeah, I don't know where the next one would be or should be. I'm not sure. It's not in Australia yet, is it? I can't remember if that was one of the launch countries. It'd be nice to have all the big countries for video games that have a lot of games published and developers working on it have Stadia natively in those countries, so that the developers can start getting a bug about Stadia and then start working on games for it. That would be really great. All right, Greg Doyle, $2 super chat. Do you think GeForce Now will affect Stadia? It definitely will. There's going to be some people, like we already had, we had a troll in here earlier saying about how dead Google was and just being annoying. So it's going to affect Google in that regards. There's going to be a lot of people saying, well, why am I buying a $60 game on Stadia when I could buy it for $20 on Steam and play it for $5 a month, or free if you want to do it an hour at a time. It's going to be interesting to see it all shakes out, because we have GeForce Now, we have Stadia, we have we have PlayStation Now, then we have another service coming out, Shadow, is that what it's called? Something like that. Then you have Amazon working on something. You have Walmart working on something. I always laugh when I say Walmart working on game streaming for some reason. I'm not sure why. So that's seven companies in, say, a year or two that could be in the game streaming world. That is a lot of players, and some of them are going to shake off. It's like the plate is going to be too full of other companies for all of them to fit there. But I don't see Google going anywhere. They're just a huge company. They can afford to lose money on this with their eyes set in the future. So them making money year 1 or year 2 or year 5 probably isn't a huge concern, especially when they say that they're making what was like $5 billion a year on YouTube or whatever the number they reported this week was. They can afford to lose a little bit of money on Stadia for the next little bit if they see it as a bonus, or not a bonus, as a strategic thing for the future. Crossplay. King Sire, Nature Boy, your crossplay comment is valid. Stadia needs to start implementing crossplay on all of their multi-plats soon. Lobbies in games like Destiny 2 and More Color Lemon are still a little bare. Yeah, but that isn't a Google thing. So Google doesn't make the games. The publishers publish the games, developers make the games. Google is just the platform holder. So they've already given the tools to the developers saying, we're not blocking anything. You can do crossplay, you can do cross-save, you can do whatever you want. We're not standing in your way. It's just developers have to do it. We have crossplay, or I guess cross-save in Destiny. There's crossplay in another game. I'm blanking on which one it is. So it is there. It takes the developers. Developers have to do it. They're the ones that are going to be making the servers, doing matchmaking, all that fun stuff. It's not a Google thing, because that functionality is there already. I think we'll see Kojima partner with Stadia on his next titles. Like a developer like Kojima could be great for Stadia. Could be someone that would get right behind it and have all the weight of their stardom come into Stadia and make it popular, make people like turn around and take notice of Stadia. Maybe I know it took him a while to figure out what he was doing with his game. He decided on PlayStation using the Horizon Zero Dawn engine. So next time he's looking to publish something, maybe Google will send a couple people out to court him and bring his game over. That would be pretty cool. All right. Google made 19 billion just for YouTube. That's what it is. $19 billion. It's just a ridiculous amount of money. So losing a couple $1 million or even $10 million on Google Stadia a year would be nothing for them in the grand scheme of things. Of course, you want to have all aspects of your company make money, but they can, if they have a future where Stadia is a huge part, they can afford to lose money for the next little while. where a company like GeForce maybe doesn't want to lose a lot of money, because if their video cards stop selling, or their software doesn't sell, or whatever, losing money on streaming is then directly impacting their viability as a company. Same with Walmart. Walmart's margins are so slim that if they start losing a bunch of money on streaming, they're gonna get out of it right away, just like they did with video streaming and all that stuff. They had a Netflix competitor for a while, which they got rid of. So I don't see Google going anywhere. It's just they're too big of a company. They can afford to take a bit of a bath for a little while. I feel like the note of Walmart working on streaming is a telltale sign of Amazon-like services coming from the brand soon. Yeah, it could be. I know Walmart's, there's a story, I want to say about a year ago, where they're setting up a data center for companies. It's like a big compute data center, so you could do a large compute services there and stuff like that. I didn't really hear anything else past that, so they maybe had some good ideas and then just realized how hard technology is. It's harder than just buying a bunch of clothes in China and shipping them across the globe. So yeah, maybe that's not something that they're going to get into, but we'll see. Bethesda has a game streaming service coming out also. Yeah, they're partnering with Tencent to do that. So, or I think Epic is partnering with Tencent. I'm not sure what Bethesda's doing. Bill, how's it going? Yeah, Bethesda's doing that streaming. What did they call it? I can't remember, but it basically creates lower bandwidth streams by doing compression and stuff like that, which is great. How do you think crowd play will work if you want to play on Chromecast? Would the YouTube video have a cast Stadia to TV button, or could the technical aspect of it be the cause of delay? Crowd play. That's a good question. Well, you really have to be streaming for crowd play, right? So they would have to have their streaming infrastructure would have to be there. So you'd have to have a way to stream from your Chromecast to then have your people watching be able to play with you. So I think when crowdplay comes out, I don't think it's going to be on Chromecast for the first little bit. That'll be something that will be built into like a Twitch plugin or something, where you can hit a button on Twitch and it will capture something and it will send it as a link, and then people can click it and jump in. Yeah, I can't see that happening on Chromecast in the near future until streaming support is built in or released. I know it's part of the SDK. We know all the services that they've talked about, all the features they've talked about are there. They just need developers to jump in and start playing with them, which we haven't had yet. All right. Do you think the future Stadia requires less bandwidth? I'm assuming 10 megabytes for 4K. Is that possible? Well, I mean, if you like, I could stream 4K at 800 bits a second. Like, I could stream a super low bandwidth 4K stream. It's not going to look good. So if you want the games to look good, unfortunately, 4K is data heavy. It's 4,000. It's like 4 million pixels that make up your screen, and then to compress that down into a data stream and bring it, it's going to be data heavy, and there's no way around that. VP9 is a little bit better. VP9 codecs are noticeably smaller than H.264, but you can only go so far to make it still look good. If you want to play really low bandwidth or low bitrate rather streams, sure. But I don't think anybody wants to do that. It wouldn't look good for Google if they started doing that, allowing you to go down to like a 360p bandwidth, like bitrate, but at 4K resolution. That would be not so good. Boom. Joel Thompson. So the crowd jumping in though, not the streamer themselves. Yeah, I mean, but you have to have a way to put out your link for people to see. So I know what you guys are saying about crowd play, but it's going to revolve around a streamer. So you'd have to broadcast. You'd have to broadcast somehow, and then you'd have to put the link out there for people to jump in. I'm sure when Doom Eternal comes out and they have that mode where you can be demons and things like that, I'm sure there's going to be a way for people to directly join you. It won't be through crowd play necessarily, but it will be it'll be done somehow through matchmaking. So maybe there'll be a lot more matchmaking type multiplayer stuff in the near future before crowd play becomes a thing. William Millard, it would be interesting to see what players you team with or playing against are playing on. Like Golden Cheesy is playing on a Pixel 4 XL. That says whether they're playing on a mobile browser or Chromecast. That would be really interesting. That would be a nice way to, similar now when you play, say, Fortnite, you can see if people are on your platform. So if I'm playing on Switch, I can see a little Switch icon behind them. Or I can see a keyboard icon if they're playing on a PC or an Xbox with a keyboard and mouse. Or I see a little console-looking icon if they're on another console. It'd be really neat if you could see that when they're streaming a game. That's really cool. That would be really cool, rather. But there'd have to be a way to turn that off, because not everybody wants people to know what hardware they run. So people might be a little upset if they have the latest phone and someone's stalking them and find out what hardware they have through that. So there'd have to be a way to turn that off. I'm not sure how they would do that though. I guess it would just be done in the privacy settings. You would have to set it up like any other privacy. You'd have to do it like your achievements and your friends lists and things like that. Nature Boy, will Stadia have the better version of Doom Eternal? It's very possible. I don't know, better. It's kind of apples and oranges, because your PC version is running on Intel hardware. Stadia version is running on a Linux kernel. You have your PlayStation versions are running on PlayStation. All that stuff. So the versions are going to be a similar code base, but they're going to be compiled to run on different platforms. Running at 4K 60, not many people might not have a PC that is capable of running Doom Eternal at 4K 60, and be able to do that on Stadia would be nice, if that is even something that is possible. We don't know yet. So that would be really great. So we'll have to see. Delphi, thanks. Kinda. Chris Balgobin. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry if I butchered that. How convenient would it be for Google if Google adds support for the Stadia app on Android TV? You wouldn't really need a Chromecast. Apparently that's coming. They're saying that they want to have Stadia running on any Android TV platform. They're doing Chromecast now, just like they're doing the Pixel phones now. But I'm sure they're going to open that in the future. We've already seen some people with different phones with different phones be able to see it in the Stadia app, that they could play, and they play one game and then it goes away. So yeah, I'm sure it will happen at some point. But typical Google, they test everything. Like they're a data company, so they want to know all the data. So they're going to let certain phones play it, and then they're going to go back and they're going to crunch that data, see how it performs. Then they're going to let some more people with that specific phone play it, take that data, crunch it, figure out how it performs. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens, man. I'm really excited for iPhone. I want to play it on iPhone. I want to play it on iPad. I want to play it on other devices that are not Android. That would be a lot of fun, because I'm an iOS user. Even though I did buy an Android tablet, because that's the only way to do xCloud right now. Yeah, thanks, Bill. I am married, by the way. Yes, that is very true. Callan Angel, do you think Google Assistant on Stadia will be massive impact when it's ready? I don't know if it's gonna have a massive impact. I mean, you can now start games with it. That's cool. But it'll be better when you can hold down the button and say, how do I beat this damn level? And it goes out to YouTube and shows you a little YouTube video over top of your video of the game that's running, and it basically shows the path through. That'll be really cool. That'll be useful for a lot of people. It'll also be annoying for a lot of people if they accidentally, like me, whenever I go to hit the 3-dot button, I hit the assistant button. So if the assistant keeps popping up and listening to me, that would be annoying. that would be really, really annoying. So it'll be interesting to see when other developers start supporting it, what kind of stuff comes from it. More features are always a good thing. So hopefully we start getting some games that are going to launch with those features soon. There was a demo of Doom running on Stadia from March 2019. I guess they're working on something cool. So yeah, like the classic Doom 2016 was running. That was one of the things that they were testing at I think GDC, and then my phone platform. I'm an iOS guy from the first iPhone. I'm a Mac user from way back. You can see, over here, Mac. I love Macs. I love using a Mac for my computer. I love using iOS. I have so much money invested in my iTunes library and everything. To switch from iOS to the Android ecosystem is just, for a phone, just not something I could ever do. I could get an Android phone to use along with my iOS phone at some point when I start doing. I used to do mobile app development. So I've had Android phones in the past, but I don't keep them very long. My day-to-day walk around, use all the time phone is an iPhone 10 right now. So that's what I use. I just love iPhones. I love iOS. I guess is what I'm gonna say about that. Yeah, exactly, Bill. I've used both. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter which OS you use. Modern Android is just as good as iOS. So there's really no better OS. It all depends what you want to do with it. For me, I love closed. I love not having the chance of people putting apps on the App Store that could steal my data, which was a problem on Android for a while. I know Android's fixed a lot of that, and there's been some issues on iOS. I love the fact that all my music and everything's in my iTunes library that's sitting in the cloud. It's just, yeah, it's something that I love. All right, so I'll be tweeting this out right away. So you're seeing this a few minutes after. I'm gonna click tweet in a few seconds, so keep watching. Chris10, when do you think the Canadian government starts taxing us on Stadia? Yeah, I find it really weird that there is no tax when I buy a game on Stadia. It's just I don't get taxed on it. And I know there's other platforms that do that, like is it PlayStation? There's one other platform I use where most of the time I'm not getting taxed on it when I buy a game. So I'm not really sure how that all works. I'm not sure how they all figure it all out. But yeah, so when I buy a $49 game or a $18 game, it's exactly that amount on Stadia. It's weird. I'm not complaining, but if they start taxing us, it's just it would just make sense. I know Nintendo does. A lot of other companies do for online purchases, so it's not like it's an online purchase thing. Just take a bite out of the forbidden Android fruit. Well, I do have Android. I do have a tablet right here, and I've used Android tablets a lot. I used to have a Nexus 7 that I use for app development and stuff. So I do use Android, but my walk around every day with me phone is going to be an iPhone probably forever. I can't see myself switching. A Stadia game, same here in the States. Oh, there's no tax on Stadia games in the US? Is that the same for everything? Bill, when you buy games, are you taxed on it? I'm wondering if maybe it's a specific states don't get taxed thing down there. You'd switch to Android for your phone, but not your iPad. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Android tablets compared to the iPad. I just love the iPads so much. I just pay what it costs. Yeah, I just load my account with Play credits, and then I just buy it until I don't have any more Play credits, and then I add more. So it's that's the way I do it. It works well. Bill just says money. He doesn't pay attention. All right, so that tweet went out. Good luck to everybody that sees it or will see it. Hopefully someone gets it and is able to snag it. Just a reminder, when you punch in that code, the number in that code is a random number. So it's not a pound sign. It's not a hashtag. It's not a whatever the other word Bill uses is. It's not that. It's a random number. So you're going to have to punch it in up to 10 times if you guess wrong 9 other times. And then once you punch it in and it accepts it, you basically have to accept and add a payment method, and then they'll let you in. So you don't have to buy anything, but you have to basically just do that. Octothorpe, there you go. Thanks, David Glass. I always forget that one. Octothorpe. What a weird name. Weird word. All right. So that went through. I don't have any notifications yet. So maybe no one has gotten it yet, unfortunately. It's Latin for 8 points. Yeah, octo definitely makes sense. I'm curious to see what the service becomes and if Stadia matches the game library. Stadia matches the game library. Jay Smith, what do you mean by that? Like doing what GeForce is doing, where you can basically punch in your Steam? Can't see that. I can't see that. Sorry, I'm just getting a bunch of notifications on my watch. I can't see that happening anytime soon. There's not enough games on Steam that support Linux. I could see maybe them adding that in the future, and then you have your 2% or 3% of the Steam library is playable on Stadia. But yeah, I don't see that in the future. I think Google wants to do their own thing. Just like everyone used to call them the Netflix. It was like, it's a Netflix of gaming, and then they announced that it's a game store, and they're like, that's garbage. You lied to us, Google, when Google never said that it was the Netflix of gaming. I think they just want to continue to sell games and run the platform. The Play Store is doing really, really well for them, so I don't think they're going to get rid of the Play Store anytime soon. So it'll be the same thing. It'll be the same thing for the game store. They just want to sell you video games and have you play them on their service. Yeah, not necessarily Steam, but the GeForce library. Yeah, like the way that GeForce now is doing it is they're essentially they're doing an end around the developers and the publishers, because the game is sold to a user on a PC and you're playing it in the cloud. So I'm really curious to see if there's going to be lawsuits for that. There's going to be some developer that says, I never said that you could use my game in your service. I don't know. I don't know if maybe they're making like contracts with all these companies to allow the people to stream their game into the GeForce cloud, even though they're essentially just renting you a computer somewhere in the cloud. I don't know. Licensing is a tough beast, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Apparently, before launch, there was like many times more games in the GeForce Now library, and then it launches, and a lot of those games disappear. So it made me wonder if it's a licensing issue or if it's something to do with performance or whatever. So I don't know, man. It'll be interesting to see how that all shakes out. I don't want there to be lawsuits, but the world is very litigious. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that in the future. But yeah, I can now use 3 streaming services, or 4 if I wanted to re-up my PlayStation Now one. I have GeForce Now, I have Stadia, of course, and then I have xCloud, and the ability to play 2 out of 3 on this little tablet is ridiculous. And then maybe in the future, GeForce will run on this thing as well. This $200 cheap Amazon tablet, it's ridiculous. I'm really hopeful for the future that we're going to get a lot more, I guess a more stable client for these tablets like this, because things are a little bit chunky now. There's a lot of lag every once in a while. I don't even know how to describe it. Like it's almost like input lag, but it's happening on the tablet side, not the streaming side, because inputs just aren't registering. And if I do it on my PC or whatever, it's not happening. So it's something to do with the tablet itself. So it'll be interesting to see what happens once we get some native clients for devices like this. I hope that my $200 purchase isn't dead in a few months, because there's no official support and the unofficial support is garbage. But that was a risk I was willing to take to be able to talk about it on the on the show. William, that's how Amazon tablets are. Yeah, they're not very good. The Amazon OS is garbage. I'd love to root it and just install like just stock Android on it. But apparently the new tablets, it's not really possible so much. Otherwise I would have done that right away. Just root it and put just vanilla Android on it, and then I wouldn't have to worry about all that garbage. Google should do their own Game Pass. Dead Player, yeah. Well, like I said, Google has always said that this isn't Netflix of gaming. We're a game store. I could see a future where they have a service. You have your Pro subscription for $10 a month, and then they have a Pro Plus subscription for say 15 that gets you access to a large library of games, not just the 1 or 2 a month that you're going to be getting. I could see that in the future. It's not going to happen in year 1. I don't even know if it's going to happen in year 2, but it would make sense for that to happen at some point. And then, of course, we're going to have the Ubisoft Plus is going to be coming to Stadia in the future. So you'll be able to subscribe to that service, and that'll be like a Game Pass that runs on Stadia, but only Ubisoft games. So if you don't like Ubisoft games, it's not going to do much for you. Charles Oran, what's going on? Just finishing up a open mic here on the Stadiacast channel. So thanks everybody for coming out and hanging out with us. I've been going for about an hour, so I think that is gonna about do it for me. So I'm gonna throw it out there. Any last questions before I move on and end the stream? Let me know. David Glass, there is a way to install Lineage OS on the Fire 10 HD 7th gen. Yeah, I have the 9th gen, the one that has USB-C on it. And from what I see online, there's no way to root it yet. I'm sure that'll happen. It always happens. I did that with my... Was it my Nexus? I'm not sure which device it was, but I had to do the rooting thing to get the development tool I wanted to run on it. And it was just hell to root that device back in the day. I don't think it was a Nexus 7. It might have been a different Asus tablet. I don't remember which one it was. Thankfully, it wasn't my tablet, and I was given permission to try to break it. And I did break it. We were able to get it back to factory, thank God. But there was some issues. I would just love to not have that as an issue and just be able to hit a button. And next thing I know, my $200 Amazon tablet is just a $200 Google tablet. But that's not how Amazon wants to make money. They want to put the ads on the device and have you buy books and movies and other garbage from them, which makes sense, I guess. Speaking of hardware, I'm really thinking about getting the upcoming Samsung Galaxy Chromebook. An actual Galaxy Chromebook. I haven't heard of that, but that would be really cool. I do like Chromebooks. My kids use them at school. There's that the Pixel Book. Is that what it is? The newer Pixel Book? That looks really cool. That would be something that I wouldn't mind picking up in the future for my kids. It's super simple, easy to lock down, and for them to use and do their schoolwork. All right. Ashes to Ashes. Do you put the jelly or peanut butter on first? I'm the wrong person to ask. I don't like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I ate too many of them as a kid. When I make them for my kids, though, I put peanut butter on one, and then I put jelly on the other. So I always do peanut butter first, I think, and then I put the jelly on when I make them peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Chris 10, did you get the Animal Crossing limited edition? No, I was so close to hitting buy. Best Buy Canada had it up, and I was floating over the buy, and I didn't. I want it really bad. Like I have the Splatoon Joy-Con, which I love, but I really want those Animal Crossing Joy-Cons, and the dock is just so nice looking. We'll see if they release more. If they release more stock, and there's a trade-in deal at EB Games here, where I can get like $200 plus credit for my system and then buy that one, I'll do it just to upgrade my system to the one with the better battery. All right. What else? One more question. Captain Skidmarks, any games you're looking forward to this year? Yeah, Animal Crossing. I really want that one. Cyberpunk is going to be good. And then I'm really looking forward to playing. I don't know if it's a this year game, but I'm really looking forward to Diablo 4. I don't think that's going to come out in 2020, but man, I love Diablo, and I'm itching for more Diablo games to come out this year. Peanut butter bananas on one side, jelly on the other. Peanut butter banana sandwich. Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right. All right. Well, I think that's going to about do it for me, everybody. Thanks for coming and joining. And thanks for the super chats, Joel Thompson and Greg Doyle. Appreciate it very much. The support that you guys and girls, you people, always give us is just unbelievable. So I'm gonna make these things a weekly thing. So if you like these open mics, we can keep doing them. It's all up to you, fine folks. If you want more, they will keep coming. And I know Bill has the same idea as well. So yeah, that's gonna do it for me. Thanks everybody for coming out, and we'll talk to you here on the next open mic. Good luck to anybody that got that Stadia buddy pass. I didn't get a tweet saying someone claimed it, so I'm curious if one of the people here got it. That'd be great to see. So have a good night, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.